Hello everyone, welcome to Urbanscape Bangalore, and in this episode we will be looking at a plant that resides in the hearts and gardens of almost every indoor plant enthusiast, the humble pothos, or as we call it in India, the money plant. The name money plant comes from the belief that this plant brings in a lot of luck and prosperity in terms of wealth to one's home. I, as a rational gardener, definitely will not believe and propagate such superstitious beliefs amongst my viewers, who I believe are rational, scientifically inclined people. The only thing I know, and a lot of you would agree to, is that this plant brings home a lot of greenery with much less effort, and that's why this plant is our favorite houseplant. The scientific name of this plant is the Epipremnum aureum. So in this episode, we will be looking at repotting this neon pothos. So the best part about this pothos is that you don't see much variations. It looks like it has a symmetric chartreuse color and almost resembles the philodendron. Remember that the pothos and the philodendrons are two different plants from the same family. This is a plant in the Araceae family that includes the peace lily, the syngonium, the philodendron, etc. They are native to the French Polynesian islands. It is a tropical plant and loves the warmth. They are not cold tolerant, so if you live in frost affected areas, then you might have to grow this indoors. Though this is a flowering plant, this will never grow a flower in its lifetime because of a genetic impairment. I must confess here that among all the varieties of pothos, I like the neon and the enjoy pothos, which has those white variegations. The most interesting part of this plant is that it can climb up a support using these pimple-like aerial roots. This plant has found its name in NASA's list of best indoor air purifying plants that can purify some of the most harmful indoor pollutants like benzene, formaldehyde, toluene, etc. So the best container to grow this plant is a hanging basket, but I have other reasons for growing this in a pot like this, because I would be making more plants out of this single mother plant to use it in some hanging arrangements in the future. So for now, I just want this plant to grow bushier, hence I'm transplanting this into a bigger container. So as usual, we will be using drainage materials at the bottom. Remember, just because the pothos can grow in water doesn't mean that it likes overwatering. It likes the soil to be well draining, giving its roots the chance to breathe when grown in soil. So for the potting mix, I will be using 30% sand, 30% compost and 40% coco peat. I'm using more coco peat or garden soil here because the plant also likes damp soil more than dry soil, but like I said earlier, overwatering, lack of drainage coupled with lack of sunlight will definitely kill the plant if grown in soil, so be very careful. Now remove the plant slowly by overturning it like this and holding the top soil with your hand, and slowly shake the pot up and down to release the plant without breaking the root ball. So a small tip here for anyone who is just beginning to garden would be that while buying a plant from the nursery, do not break the root ball or the soil of the plant. It can kill the plant. So if you find that the roots are pot bound and there are more roots than soil, then you could just break or tease some roots like this and detach it from the soil. So what happens here is that you are giving a signal to the plant to spread its roots outwards and not grow in a circular fashion. You must remember that plants are smart, and that is why they have outsurvived so many other species in the world. Please do not soak the plant in water, remove all the soil and then plant it. As much as you can, add some soil from the old container into the new one to introduce microorganisms that were there in its previous container for it to feel at home all over again in the new container. Also, make sure that the topsoil is an inch lower from the rim of the container to allow water percolation and to avoid runoff. Now backfill and water your plant immediately. I have kept this outdoors amongst some great shade-loving counterparts. So let me talk about the basic requirements to grow a pothos successfully indoors. So this is a shade-loving plant, but that does not mean that this likes complete shade. This likes bright sunlight. So if you are growing this indoors, a south, west or east location is ideal where it can get bright sunlight. North is not a preferred location to grow this. Avoid full sunlight because that would burn the tender leaves of this plant. With the neon pothos especially, the more the sunlight, the paler the leaf color would be compared to the much greener color the leaves would acquire if grown in shadier conditions. Watering requirements would be that this plant likes consistently moist soil but does not appreciate overwatering or underwatering. So water this daily if you're growing this in brighter sunny locations. If you get less sunlight, then see to it that you water the plant after the soil dries. You can reduce watering during winter. You don't really have to fertilize this plant, however, a nitrogen-rich fertilizer like fish emulsion or seaweed would be great. You can add a teaspoon of this liquid fertilizer in 1 or 2 liters of water and add it into the plant once every month. For those who want to just use compost, you can add the same once every month during summer months. You can grow this plant in water and propagate this with the help of stem cuttings either in water or in soil. A propagation video is in the offing. With this, we are done with the Pothos video, but I have some more stuff to share with you in USB extras. So this is with regards to this beetle that is a common pest in the garden that eats flowers, especially the hibiscus and roses. I'm not very sure about the name of this particular beetle, but the easiest way to kill this is to add concentrated dishwash soap directly on its body. But please remember, diluting soap solution in water doesn't really help kill this bug, but by using concentrated liquid soap also, the flower will die. So this is the only drawback. You can see here that the beetle even pooped and is almost paralyzed within minutes after applying soap on it. So try this if you have these beetles in your garden. However, the most annoying part is that the praying mantis that grows on my hibiscus, instead of eating such nasty, harmful bugs, has decided to eat the more beneficial insects like this poor butterfly. Like they say, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So with this, we have come to the end of yet another episode of Urbanscape Bangalore. And if you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe. Also follow me on Instagram and Facebook for further updates. The links are given below. Thank you for watching Urbanscape Bangalore, and until we meet again, goodbye.